All right, thanks for joining me here on Chaos to Clarity. I'm Chaos, and I try to make things a little clear. By the way, before we start, I'm going to be talking about early January. There's some indications that we could be looking at a snow event Midwest, Northeast. Now, listen, it could also be fool's gold. It's not perfect, but I can see the scenario working out for once. Nothing's worked out thus far. By the way, we do want to let you know, total bust in Florida with the severe weather. Thankfully, I'm glad actually that we did. Too much rain. It was too stable, so we didn't get virtually no severe weather on Saturday. So I was way off on that. I think we did accurately describe, though, what was going to happen up the eastern seaboard with that storm. It was more like a tropical storm, and boy, did we have problems in New England. We had so much tropical air coming up. We melted all the snow, then they got the rain, and then it's flooding, and they're still flooding through the rivers. So that was correct. No doubt I was wrong in Florida. Now, I want to take you into early January. There's some indications that you have to be on the lookout from the Midwest toward the Northeast. Let me show you what we're looking at here. I'm going to go full screen here a second because I want to take you to the end. This is Saturday, so this is 9 days from now. Now, here's why I'm a little excited, because I see this trough coming in here. You see this? You have this trough coming in. What's this going to do? It's going to finally bring some colder air in, right? This is the European. All right, let me show you the GFS. Same kind of story here. European GFS. Not perfect, but you know what it shows? It shows this dip in the jet stream, right? It shows the dip in the jet stream. This is the European control run. Again, showing this dip in the jet stream. Now, here's what I'm looking to do here. I want this trough to deliver the cold air, get out of here, right? Look for something to come. Look, and I don't like this ridge here. Hopefully that gets beaten down, and I think it will. And then what I'm looking to do is build a high at the surface, get a piece of energy to come through the northern, across the Canadian prairies, and then get a southern piece of energy. And this guides this into the cold air. That's what I'm looking for. All right? And I think there's a chance that that can happen. All right? Not sure about it, but see, that's what I'm looking for. And let me show you what the surface panel looks like this. So let me show you the European control run here as we go forward here. So there's the trough leaving, right? You have another piece coming in. So now you've delivered the cold air, right? Here's all the cold air, and voila, you see what's going on here? You have this piece of energy across the Canadian prairies and this piece of energy in the south. So this is what we call a split flow. This is how you can get big snowstorms. I don't think this would be big, but this is how you get big snowstorms because you have two branches of the jet stream. The northern branch delivers the cold air. The southern branch delivers the storm. So this is what I've been looking for. So watch how this goes forward here as we go forward. All right, this is January 1st. So see, you've delivered the cold air in here. You've got high pressure. Now you've got this system right in here. Watch what this does. This is going to either push this out to sea or this will guide this up the coast. Now, if this goes a little too fast, this is a little slower, then you're going to have a storm track into the Midwest. But if you go at the proper speed, what will happen is, watch the runs of the European here. Here we go. If you get it moving, see, this is a little better. Now, you see where this trough is going? In here. You've got the trough back in here. It's positively tilted. This is going to take the storm in here. You've got the cold air in here. And voila! You have some snow. Now, we're talking about the 3rd or 4th of January, so that's a little ways out, but you see how the pattern sets up. All right? Now, for what it's worth, this is the European control run. The GFS, not as much, because you know what it does? Watch the difference here in the modeling here. This is the 3rd. So this is European. So here's your southern branch. Here's your northern branch trough. You know what the GFS does for the same time period here? Not really much. It's a little slower, but you see it doesn't have that. It doesn't have this other piece, and it takes something into the lakes, and you know, then you got to wait, and then you're in the 5th or 6th, and it's too late. See, I think the time frame is the 3rd and 4th. If it doesn't happen then we're done. I don't see anything else. Let me show you the surface panel here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about for as we go forward here. Let me show you the surface panel here really quick. Let's do this. Okay, so this is the surface panel here. So this is the European that I was talking about here. So watch what happens here. We get to the 29th, and see, here's your injection of cold air right in here. And look what's going on here. Stop. You've got a high pressure cell in here, right? You have a boundary that's stuck in here, right? So what you're doing is you're waiting for energy to come into the flow, to form a storm along this boundary, and then you want this system to come to the north and east, all right? Watch what happens as we go forward here. See, here it comes, and here it comes. You see that? Then I can go a little later on here. Watch. See, that's what I'm looking for. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, but when you look at the surface panel, what do you see here on the second in the evening? You have an area of high pressure in here, and you have a low pressure in here. This is what you want. This funnels the cold air, and then this storm moves to the north, and then you get some snow. Now, this doesn't look like an I-95, or it looks like it would be north and west. But this is what I've been waiting for, this kind of a pattern. It's not perfect because the cold air is not all that cold. I'd prefer Arctic air. You don't have Arctic air. But it's cold enough that you'd get snow with this. Now, there's many things that can go wrong with this, but this is the pattern that I've been waiting for. Let's and again, you'll notice, and if I show you the GFS, which during the same time frame, it's a little different. But see, this is what I'm looking for. Not a lot of cold air, but it's enough. Now, the GFS, it has it a little colder, but see, it brings a storm a little later into the game, and it's more like the 5th or 6th. I think if it's that late, you're going to get a storm going up into the Midwest, and it's mostly going to be rain. All right, so I want to go over this again. What am I worried about? Early January, all right? Early January. Let me show you the pattern again. Let me go back to the 500 millibar. We'll take a look at the difference here, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I got to remember how to do this. Okay. So, here's what we're doing. 31st, here comes the cold air. All right? That cold air comes in, you drill it in. At the surface, you bring an area of high pressure. Then you want something to come down across the Canadian prairies. You have energy in the southern branch. This will steer this system. Now, if it's too far to the west, then it takes a Midwest track. But I think there's room for this as it comes eastward to steer it up the coast, right in here. That's what you're looking for. And then right up the coast, like this. That's what I'm looking at the possibility of this doing, right in here. And that would be some snow. Again, GFS has the northern branch too strong, and it kills that piece, and then you're waiting for this piece, but by that time, your cold air is gone. This storm would come up most likely in the Midwest. This is more like the 5th or 6th, and this would be some rain. Now, Midwest perhaps. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's why you've got to watch out the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of January. It starts with the injection of cold air when on the 29th and 30th. Then you wait for you wait for this piece of energy. Here it is. That goes by. There's the cold air on the 1st, and then you have this split flow. This is the northern branch. This is the southern branch. This will steer this system, and if it's too strong, it steers it out to sea. If it's weak enough and it's far enough back, it steers it up the coast, and then all of a sudden you're looking at some snow here. And, you know, climatology would say it's west and north of the 95. So that's what I'm watching for the first, somewhere around the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If it doesn't happen then I think the next storm that comes in line is going to be farther north and west, and it's going to be a Midwest problem. So let's see how this works out. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm using a lot of models. Some of you may not be familiar, but this is the kind of the thing that I've been waiting for. This is how you get the snow. These two branches of the jet stream, you get the injection out ahead of it, you get the system across the southern plains, you get across the Canadian prairies, you get a southern piece of energy, and then this guides it up the eastern seaboard. So let's see how this works out. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Rayno. And again, thanks for watching this show. I appreciate it. I do read the comments here on our AccuWeather YouTube page, and we'll keep you updated.